So after his first 100 days in office, how's President Trump doing? Chief White House correspondent Major Garrett has been keeping track.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
It began with an inaugural address more sour than soaring.
This American carnage stops right here and stops right now.
What followed? A fractious tenure that occasionally strayed from the facts and put the White House at odds with Congress, the courts, and at times itself. The president's spokesman, Sean Spicer.
This was the largest audience to ever witness an inauguration, period.
We have nothing to lose but our chance.
Trump's inauguration brought protests to the streets and venom from the president's Twitter account. Professional protesters, he said, very unfair.
Ho, ho, your racist views have got to go. Hey, hey.
The president spawned more protests with an executive order that tried to ban travel from 7 Muslim-majority countries. But federal courts blocked it. The order illuminated White House divisions, advisors like Steve Bannon pushing Trump in a nationalist direction, while son-in-law Jared Kushner and Chief of Staff Reince Priebus urged cautious conservatism.
As of today, we are officially putting Iran on notice.
The president fired National Security Advisor Michael Flynn after just 24 days on the job. Flynn lied to Vice President Mike Pence about contacts with Russia's ambassador to the U.S. The suspected nexus between Russia and Mr. Trump's campaign has stalked the president from day one.
I have nothing to do with Russia. To the best of my knowledge, no person that I deal with does.
Later, Flynn sought immunity from prosecution. This is a witch hunt, the president tweeted.
Were you trying to tell the Justice Department to grant immunity to Michael Flynn? Were you trying to do that, Mr. President? Was that your intention, Mr. President, sir?
Thank you, President.
Mr. President, was that your intention, Mr. President?
But presidential silence wasn't typical, especially when Mr. Trump, frustrated by inaction in the Republican-controlled Congress, turned to executive action.
Great thing for the American worker, what we just did. This is with regard to the construction of the Keystone Pipeline. My administration is putting an end to the war on coal.
Another theme? Payback for the Obama years. Nowhere more visible than the Supreme Court.
I'm keeping another promise to the American people by nominating Judge Neil Gorsuch.
The president added a justice after Senate Republicans last year denied President Obama's nominee a hearing. This audacious political gamble may be among Mr. Trump's most lasting legacies.
And I got it done in the first 100 days. That's even nice. You think that's easy? It's time to shake the rust off America's foreign policy.
A president who told the country during the campaign foreign policy was easy, confronted nuclear challenges in North Korea, continued Russian aggression in Ukraine, and one horror, a sarin gas attack on civilians in Syria.
That crosses many, many lines beyond the red line.
The president ordered a Tomahawk missile strike on the Syrian airbase where the chemical attack was launched, marking a break from his America First isolationist philosophy.
It is in this vital national security interest of the United States to prevent and deter the spread and use of deadly chemical weapons.
That announcement came at the Winter White House, Mar-a-Lago, where the president has spent many of his weekends at sizable taxpayer expense. Which brings us to some of the unfulfilled promises made by candidate Trump. Like the promise to build a wall on the U.S.-Mexico border.
And who is going to pay for the wall? Who? You better believe it.
President Trump has not asked Mexico for a penny. When he asked Republicans in Congress, they declined. As for health care,
I am also calling on this Congress to repeal and replace Obamacare.
Mr. Trump ordered a House vote, but the bill collapsed, leaving him to wait for another day. The president took office with record low approval ratings and has finished his first 100 days in the same place. Through the chaos, the infighting, and the setbacks,
We love Trump!
Mr. Trump's supporters remain enthusiastic, even as they, and the rest of America, await what comes next.